Hello everyone and welcome to a game Happy versus Lin. This game taking place here on Twisted Meadows version 1.1 from the TeD Cup. On the top left hand side of the map we have Happy spawning as the blue undead. Meanwhile over here on the bottom right we have Lin spawning as the yellow orc. First of all, for all you guys out there, Merry Christmas. And well, might as throw in a Happy New Year as well. However you may be watching, however you may be listening, I thank you. Um, you know, I thank you for listening and watching after so many years, after a decade of me doing this. There are still, a good number of you out there that continue to encourage me. I really appreciate it. I once heard that you should really never thank your audience for watching you, because it almost sounds like, hey, you know what, you're doing me a favor by listening to the words I have to say and that I stumble over sometimes, but I really do appreciate you. So I guess I appreciate you for continuing to watch after all these years. That is what I am not thankful for, not the fact that you're forced to listen to me, because, well, you're not forced to listen to me. You have people you can choose to listen to, and you choose this. So for that reason, I thank you. Anyways, let's come back around here. We're opening things up with a Death Knight from Happy, no surprise. Meanwhile, it is a Farseer without a barracks. There is a War Mill, but I believe it will be a fast tech to tier 2. Lin gonna be opening up with some strong harassment with that Farseer, or perhaps trying to clear out some of these easier green creep camps. Remember that the creep camps have significantly changed since those previous versions of Twisted Meadows. No orange creep camp here any longer. Ancient of War doesn't do nearly as much as the Farseer. You're going to be summoning up some Spirit Wolves, and now, yes, going to be going straight for the center of the map, either for harassment or for creeping of his own. Meanwhile, what is Happy off to doing? Happy opening things up with a quick Death Coil onto that Null Warding, getting the Purge onto the Death Knight. That is the reason for that. You want to get that Purge onto the Death Knight, not onto those Skeletal Minions. You want to get the aggro onto that Death Knight, because otherwise you lose one of those Skeletal Minions right out of the gate. Coming back around, Null Brute is going to get taken down. Meanwhile, Spirit Wolves are doing quite a bit of damage to that Death Knight. Death Knight being forced to retreat back here, down to 300 hit points already, but has picked up a Slippers of Agility and gotten some experience. Death Knight does enjoy being that on Blight, that home field advantage. Gonna be hanging back here a little bit. The Spirit Wolves do not want to try to test the range of that Nerubian tower, as the Skeletal Minions will do a little bit of a dance back and forth as well. Death Knight already back up to 360 hit points, just standing on that Blight, that faster regeneration, and that is without that Unholy Aura, which would give another half. What I believe the regeneration rate is, normal regeneration rate is 1 hit point a second, so already at 2 hit points a second, go up to 2.5 for all of those number crunchers out there. Now, Lin knows that he's not going to be able to do very much, but what Lin is trying to do here is control the pacing of this game. By staying inside this space, he is just ensuring that Happy is not able to do very much. The problem, though, is that Happy does have that home field advantage, and he is regenerating hit points and mana. Now, Happy gonna be coming out here, coming out aggressive, not caring that Lin is nearby. This is gonna be an interesting call here. Death Knight does pick up another bit of experience there, and was also able to save that Ghoul. Spirit Wolves getting timed out there. Death Knight about to get to level 2, and this would be a very big deal. Farseer finally getting some skeletal minion kills on the board with a little bit of experience, but both sides are really just trying to get that last hit on this Null Overseer. Ghoul's trying to retreat back now. Damage done on the Null Overseer as both sides are exchanging blows a little bit more once again. More skeletal minions, new Ghouls coming off fresh from that lumber line. Still both sides engaging as the Farseer, is it going to get a Death Coil off? Yes! Death Coil travels faster than the lightning attack of that Farseer. Talk about express mail delivery being the difference. The Farseer auto attack, I thought, was already moving, but the Death Knight already mid animation delivered it later, but got there sooner because of the distance. Farseer continuing to make its rounds as we see the Dark Ranger quickly trained up at the tavern. Suddenly, what was a semi-fair fight, now with the Dark Ranger's sudden addition, could become a bit of a problem. Are we going to be looking at Hex? That is the question now, as the Shadow Hunter trying to push back the other way. All of this engagement so far in the middle of the map. Let's take a look at the bases. This is a dual racks training up headhunters, so the production numbers are going to be quite high. Meanwhile, Happy is already going into Black Citadel. No surprise, as he wants that Lich. Lich as the third and final hero, Orb of Corruption, perhaps some Obsidian statues and Crypt Fiends. And well, that is normally what you see from these players. Farseer now looking to retreat back again, down to 142 hit points. This is mass headhunter territory, and those mass headhunters could easily finish off skeletal minions and or ghouls. The problem is that the Dark Ranger can easily turn these headhunters into skeletal minions, since they only have 100 or 375 hit points each. We're trying to rack up. There is another round of healing wave, trying to keep the skeletal minions count relatively low as another ghoul gets taken down. However, a lesser dark minion has been trained up here. I believe, well, there's that lesser dark minion, as both sides are still fighting again to engage. Farseer still sitting at level 1. Shadow Hunter sitting at level 1 has a ring of superiority, as the Farseer and the Shadow Hunter desperately want to get to level 2 in order to get that hero level advantage. Death Knight sitting at level 2 here. There are more headhunters. Tech to tier 3 is nearly done. You better believe Berserker upgrade is on the table, as the Death Knight now being forced to retreat back. All right, timing is of the essence here. Is the Death Knight going to try and stick nearby? He is. Shadow Hunter or Dark Ranger wants to pick off more of these lower hit point units. There goes another skeletal minion. Shadow Hunter now up to level 2, but are we going to see some more damage getting racked up here? We do see Hex here. Those skeletal or those ghoul or these Spirit Wolves are not really long for this world, as we're seeing damage now get racked up onto the Dark Ranger. All right, Dark Ranger absorbing quite a bit of damage. Death Knight now low on mana. Things could go sideways quickly. Healing wave right there. Who's going to get the experience? That is the question. Farseer gets it up to level 2, and suddenly the hero level advantage has switched to Lyn. Dual level 2 heroes, as the Farseer is acting as the gatekeeper, trying to pick off some of those skeletal minions again and again. Rock Golem going to get taken down. Potion of Greater Healing and a Mantle of Intelligence. Well, it looks like it's staying on the Shadow Hunter instead of the Farseer, needing more mana on the Shadow Hunter for more heals rather than mana on the Farseer and then that bonus damage. Berserker upgrades should be upgraded now. Yes, there we are. Berserker upgrades up to 475 hit points. You can see the numbers, 43 over 51 compared to 37 over 50. All right, I was wondering where my game sounds were. My speakers were off. All right, coming back through. Death Knight at level 2. Dark Ranger still sitting at level 1. We are looking at the dual Obsidian statues out here on the battlefield. Meanwhile, Lich is out on the battlefield in addition to that Orb of Corruption, and now getting that Destroyer form upgrade. All right, the sudden tech advantage may be, well, quite a bit, as we're looking at the Tauren Chieftain as the third and final Orc hero. Shadow Hunter going to get to level 3, and that is going to be a big deal, as the Shadow Hunter gets to level 3. Level 2 Healing Wave is going to go a long way to keeping all of these Berserkers alive. All right, units looking to retreat back here. Farseer now coming back over the top again, as we're looking at Death Coil, saving or temporarily saving a ghoul. Low hit point Berserker gets a Healing Wave bounce. Death Knight could be in trouble. Another low hit point Berserker does end up getting taken down, as the ghouls are trying to dive in here, but the Berserker's upgrade is just going to be far too much. They're, with that focus fire, going to be able to take down those ghouls quickly. 47 supply compared to 38, as the Destroyers are coming around to devour magic off of those Spirit Wolves. All right, skeletal minions are popping up out of the ground. More skeletal minions now than ghouls because of that Dark Ranger. As you can see, level 2 now on that Dark Ranger, getting even more mana. All right, who needs an army of ghouls when you have an army of dark minions, as the Lich gets taken down quickly? All right, more Devour magic here. Tauren Chieftain does have Endurance Aura units able to move around quickly. 43 supply compared to 39. Who's going to come out on top here, as the lesser dark minions only deal 9 to 10 damage, but we know that the Dark Ranger can get very scary, especially if Lyn sticks with this strategy and the Dark Ranger gets to level 3. that level 2 black arrow, those dark minions become harder hitting, have more hit points, and, well, overall a bigger problem. All right, let's come across here. Tauren Chieftain gonna, well, act as the tank that he is in that front line spot, absorb a bit of damage. Well, Ring of Protection plus Circlet of Nobility already handed off to that Tauren Chieftain here, but the Tauren Chieftain may end up being shy of level 2 after all this time. Meanwhile, Skeletal Minion still scouting out off in that corner here as the Farseer is just trying to test and put pressure on Happy's attempt to get a hero level advantage. Shadow Hunter coming over across at level 3, Farseer at level 2, and here we are going into an engagement. Tauren Chieftain does not have Stomp, so not able to do very much there. There's a Purge, and the Purge from the Farseer making a big deal there, but it goes down onto a Ghoul instead of, say, a Obsidian Statue. Both sides still fighting. Berserkers trying to test the waters here. Are we going to see more Purges going down? There goes another Ghoul. Come on, one more shot, but the Farseer is still shy of level 3, just ever so barely. Little bit of experience is all that is needed. Tauren Chieftain and the Farseer are, well, 6 experience away from a double level up. Shadow Hunter close to level 4, as well as the Tauren Chieftain now in that front line spot. Farseer opting to put pressure here on the far side, trying to focus down ghouls. Is going to be able to get a ghoul. One more shot. There's level 3 on the Farseer. Level 2 Spirit Wolves. No. Level 2 Chain Lightning, as that could bounce around well, considering all the low hit point units. All right, there goes level 2 now onto the Lich. There's a giant stomp now across that front line. There's a Chain Lightning bouncing around as the Farseer able to hang on to his life. Scroll of Town Portal away at 10 hit points. All right, we've seen close calls before, but I got to remind you, this is a tournament game with a lot on the line. Coming in from the TeD Cup, not your typical ladder map right there. Split-second difference, what would have been the death of a Farseer, and perhaps momentum for Happy to build upon. Even with that, though, Happy building on the momentum of a forced Scroll of Town Portal to clear out a red creep camp, while Lin is only able to heal up a little bit with those healing salve, clearing up an orange creep camp. Shadow Hunter getting to level 4, not as big of a deal as if the Tauren Chieftain can get to level 3, but the Tauren Chieftain does have a Sobi mask, which surprisingly is not being transferred to the Shadow Hunter, as the Shadow Hunter is the glue that is really holding this army together now. More healing waves could be the difference, but perhaps the Tauren Chieftain wants multiple stomps now that it is at level 3. Meanwhile, Undead is going to go ahead and scout this out. Talisman of Evasion picked up there. And what is going to go down next? Shadow Hunter, well, pretty much getting maxed out on mana. Peons now making their way over, perhaps going to be setting up a tiny Great Hall and perhaps some watchtowers as a quick reveal from the Goblin Laboratory by Happy. Manual of Health being left behind. Those 50 extra hit points could have made a difference, but at the same time, so could this Tome of Strength being left behind at that laboratory. All right. Easy green creep camps now getting cleared up here. It feels like Happy has taken a little bit of that lead by clearing a red-orange compared to just, an orange, and the remainder of this green, or, well, what would really be a green creep camp there. Apparently, tomes are going out of style. All players, total tomes not being read are 3. Apparently, no one reading their books over Christmas break. Coming back around, Gloves of Haste also being left behind here. That's a surprise. Farseer and or Shadow Hunter could really benefit there. What is... yeah, come on. No? Is he going to pick it up? All right, Tauren Chieftain going to go ahead and try to lay down a stomp. And there you are. Big Frost Nova right opening out of the gate here. Both sides are engaging and snares going down as well. 58 supply compared to 58. Berserkers are falling pretty quickly. There's no easy dispels. No easy dispels here as the Farseer are going to go ahead and throw down a Chain Lightning. Scroll of Healing counteracting that Chain Lightning there, as there are those dark minions. Remember, this is the level 2 variety, as they are stronger and harder hitting. There goes in another stomp. stomp here. Little bit of damage. Obsidian Statues trying to keep some of those units alive here as the Farseer now is the one with the Sobi Mask. Tauren Chieftain, is he going to try to throw down put his foot down again? Yes, he does. Stomps many of those skeletons into the ground, but those skeletal minions don't really amount for much as the Kodo Beast tries to escape away with a ghoul in its belly, but no such luck. Happy with a 52 to 42 supply lead as those dark minions are really starting to push back over the top. The go wide strategy for Lin not working well as the dark minions are just turning the tide in this battle, constantly forcing more damage here. Farseer takes a death coil, but also had that, I believe, had a potion of greater healing there to stay alive. Both sides still fighting their way through. Are we going to see some purges? Yes. Triple destroyers in the air, 2 obsidian statues on the ground, and I've said this in the past, sometimes it feels like that is all exactly the undead needs. Heroes, obsidian statues, and a couple of destroyers seems to be enough here, especially as the berserkers are getting less and less useful as the undead heroes are getting higher and higher in their spell level. All right, allowing that Lich, that third hero Lich, to get to level 3 without putting in the pressure really opened things up here as the Berserker strategy, even with 475 hit points, not able to stay alive. There's a Chain Lightning, Death Coil finding the Dark Ranger just in time. Chain Lightning just needed 26 more hit points, or 26 more points of damage as the... Well, trying to go after that skeletal minion here. All right, Orc Burrow. Are we going to see peons jump inside here? Repairs something to act as a little bit of a home field advantage. Obsidian Statue taking quite a bit of damage. There was a bit of absorb, and there's the Death Coil to stay alive here as a Berserker going to get taken down. Kodo Beast trying to offer in a little bit of additional support, eating up a ghoul as Chain Lightning still bouncing across. Tauren Chieftain now sitting at level 4. The Tauren Chieftain and the heroes are all alive. It is the Orc army that is just constantly unable to stick around in this fight as the Farseer now down to 152 hit points. There's a healing wave bouncing around again. Death Knight now low on mana, but the Obsidian Statues are still there. Both sides coming across strong. Lich now at level 4 has level 2 Dark Ritual. Shadowhunter sitting at level 5 has level 3 Healing Wave. Kodo Beast, is it going to be saved as the gold from Lin's Expo is trying to rebound from this current fight? All right, go ahead and jump back on inside here. Orc army trying to come back across, but low on mana, all these Orc heroes are, and that may be the problem. Death Coil saving the Dark Ranger. Death Knight seemingly having mana for days with the help of those Obsidian Statues. More Berserkers coming across here as the Kodo Beast going to finish digesting a ghoul and now looking for another target again. Tauren Chieftain still going back around here. Are we going to see a stomp? Are we going to see anything here? The Kodo Beast down to 633 hit points. Shadowhunter needs mana. He's the one with the Sobi Mask now. Berserker is currently still alive here as the units are backing away, trying to keep these units alive. The Healing Wave missing the Troll Berserker. Skeletal Minion popping up where that Healing Wave should have started. Talk about a split-second difference there. All right, perhaps more jumping inside the Orc Burrow to try and keep these peons alive. Orc army, thinking to himself that that base is NWS, not worth saving. All right. Cut your losses, buy time, get higher level heroes. That seems to be his plan right now. Death Knight is at 4, Dark Ranger is at 4, Lich is at 4. Perhaps if the Farseer and the Tauren Chieftain can get to level 5 with level 3 Chain Lightning, it will overcome the advantage that the Dark Minions currently have. But that only stays true if the Dark Ranger doesn't get to level 5 herself. All right. Still a bit a ways from trying to get to level 5, though. Time is going to be of the essence. How quickly you can clear out all of these creep camps. The Shadowhunter does not have a Scroll of Town portal, so there is going to be putting pressure into the base here. Orc burrows, fortified defenses, but it may not be enough as the Orc army being forced to run all the way back home. A lot of buildings can be lost, but I guess losing Orc burrows at this time is really not that big of a deal, as it is just a buying time for the Orc army to come back across here. Shadowhunter may be picking up some potions of mana as Orc burrows all lost here. 54 supply over 41, upside down, and needing a bit of construction going on once more. All right, last Raider, last trained unit for a while. Tauren Chieftain trying to test the waters, getting closer, unable to do exactly that, and the units are still falling back away. All right, hero levels, slight advantage. Well, slight advantage for Lin right now with that level 3 Shadow Hunter. It is the ability of these obsidian statues to provide seemingly endless mana to the Lich, the Dark Ranger, and that Death Knight. That is the main concern. If it feels like Death Coils and Frost Novas are seemingly endless, that is the reason why. Could we go into a Creep Jack? Yes, we could. Here we are. Here we go. Is this going to be enough? There's a quick snare. Obsidian Statue could take quite a bit of damage. School of Town Portal already on its way out. There's a stomp. The Obsidian Statue does get taken down. And, well, it looked like the item was picked up by the Dark Ranger, picking up a Staff of Silence. But more importantly, the Death Knight now getting closer to level 5. Death Knight nearing level 5 here, will get to level 5 off of this Rock Golem creep camp in the corner. Farseer just shy of 5, and Tauren Chieftain a little bit further away as well, wanting every bit of experience possible. Is the Tauren Chieftain going to still be shy of 5 here? Farseer going to take some of that experience as well. Perhaps he can get to level 5 quickly too. All right. Undead now level 5 on that Death Knight. Dark Ranger is getting closer to level 5 as well. And once more, well, Lin is clearing out green creep camps while Happy is creeping out orange. Farseer does get to level 5 here, so that is a bit of a benefit there. There's only a level 1 Null Poacher left there, so all of the creep camps out on the map are pretty much cleared out except those island locations. All right. Tauren Chieftain getting that last bit of experience, trying to get that much closer. 38 experience shy from level 5. We're going to have multiple level 5 heroes engage against each other here. Spirit Wolf going up against a Dark Minion. If the Dire Wolf could actually take down an Acolyte and give enough experience to push the Tauren Chieftain over the top, that would be, well, all Lin could really hope for. Here we are trying to get into position here. Are we going to see a stomp? No, there is a stomp after a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. We could be looking at more damage, straight up damage onto the Raider as Scrolls of Healing now being used there. Are we going to see another stomp there? No. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 4 now gets up to level 5. Could go for a stomp, but the Staff of Silence at level, or the Silence at level 2 is still lasting pretty much forever. Raider is now getting taken down, as the Tauren Chieftain is just a bit silent and unable to do very much. There's a stomp there. Death Knight purposely keeping some distance in order to not get in trouble. All right, there's a Hex onto the Lich. Lich gets taken down. Lich falls at level 4. There's a stomp onto the Death Knight. Death Knight may fall. There's another quick Hex, and that is the game. It felt like Lin was behind for so much, and that Happy was going to be able to run away with the game because of, well, just better creeping. Instead, in that final fight, in that final engagement there, Lin able to get level 5 on the Farseer, have the Tauren Chieftain initiate with a level 2 stomp at level 4 after being silenced, but using a Potion of Invulnerability to be able to carry or to just tip things in favor of that Orc army. The Dark Ranger not getting to level 5 was absolutely huge, as greater Dark Minions would have been much more difficult to overcome. Higher hit points, Chain Lightning, and that Stomp would not have been able to do enough damage to actually remove them. We also saw Happy use Scrolls of Healing to try and counteract that Chain Lightning and that Stomp, but it still was not enough once that radius on that Tauren Chieftain got so high. Well-timed hexes as well, preventing escapes, shutting down the Lich, and then the Death Knight sealing the deal. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.